Hello there and welcome to the third part of my series building the electric guitar Olive with a dash of walnut. Now in this episode I'm going to be fitting the bridge and the pickups along with some other bits and pieces, so let's get going. Okay, now in a perfect world I should be able to put this ruler against that side of the neck, and that should be absolutely flat all the way along there, and that then should come up to a position here which is equal to the position if I put the ruler on this side. And I'm sure if this guitar was machined on a CNC machine or something like that, it probably would be, but it's not, it's hand built, so there's some slight discrepancies. So what I need to do is to find the center of the neck there, the center of the neck there, and then put a line all the way through to the back here to confirm that it is actually at the middle at the back there. So that's what I'm going to do. To do that I need a ruler. So in actual fact I've put a mark on this neck at the centre, because we're on 40, looks like 46 there. Got a mark at 23 on that fret, and on this fret here, what, we're 56, 56 is 28, that's 28, and that's 28. So those two marks are in the centre, so I line that up with there, that up with there, and just do a little mark there. Okay, hopefully you can see it. That's the mark I've just drawn, and my centre mark is here. So it looks like that's off by, well, it's off by a couple of millimeters, about 1.5 mil. 1.5 mil I'm off. Okay, now I'm going to have to sort of meet myself halfway here, because if I move the bridge that way too much, it's going to be wrong with the pickups. So I'm going to have to split the difference, position the bridge a little bit down towards the bottom of the body, and then just see how it looks. Now you know what they say, measure, measure, and then measure again. So what I've done, I've got myself a ruler that I can actually see the marks clearer on, and I've done another measurement. So let's see if that makes any difference, because I was 0.5 millimeter out at the end of that neck. So is that going to make a difference? Ooh. Oh, it does, it does. Good gracious me. That 0.5 millimeter mistake I made at the bottom fret there has actually pushed me back 1 millimeter at this end. So now, rather than being just under 2 millimeters out, I'm actually just over 1 millimeter out. So at least that's better. Now then, that means I think I can get away with the bridge in the central position, and I don't think that'll cause me any bother. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Now the next measurement is from the nut to the bridge, and for that I need a nut. Right, well I couldn't find a nut that would fit, but I found a bit of an offcut which I can use just to guide me where the ruler needs to be. Now then, this is a Strat scale length, which is 648 mil, but the E string is actually, it needs to be 653. So I'm going to mark 653 down here. 653, put a little mark, and the top E string, that needs to be 6 4, 8. So I'm going to mark there and just draw a line across those two. Okay, so now I can position the bridge and make sure that I've got enough adjustment to allow for those different string lengths. I've already pulled this one back, as you can see. That one's right forward. It's nice to be able to go a little bit further forward if need be, but I think I'm looking at about there. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea, come back and check that measurement. I'm reasonably confident that I've got this bridge position absolutely spot on, but to be absolutely sure, I'm going to fit these pickups and then have another look at it, just to make sure that the strings are going to go over the top of the pickups in the right place. So let's get on with that. And usually I need to make the hole bigger for the humbucker, which I do. Okay, well that actually wasn't too bad, so that now fits in there quite nicely. That's looking good. I need just to sort out the bolts for that. Let's have a look at the single coil. I think this should fit okay, and it does, so that's good. Okay, so now let's see if we can get those fitted. You'll know if you watched any of my great guitar build-off videos that I always have a problem with these single coil pickups, because the screws they provide don't seem to make sense. The hole is too big for the thread, so what I have to do is to use some of these small nuts and bolts. Now the problem is fixing the nut into that hole so that it doesn't turn. And what I've tried super gluing it in the past, and I've tried melting it in with a soldering iron in the last one, which did seem to work. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 6mm bit just to drill a little bit of an indent so I can seat the bolt, and then I'll use the soldering iron to melt it in. See if that works any better. So now I'm going to use a brad point bit because that's fairly flat. So I'm going to just actually try and turn it in myself if I can. This is not going to. That's not going to work. Okay, so change of plan. We'll get a high-speed drill bit. Okay, I've got the drill set to slow, and you just need to just nip into the top. Oh, that's gone right the way through, which is what I didn't want to happen. Anyway, the hole is smaller than the bolt, so I'm hoping that that's going to work. But before I do anything, I'm going to get myself a soldering iron. See if I can melt this in to the plastic. Well, apart from the fact I managed to get some solder on the hole there, that looks pretty good. It's sunk in, so I'm going to try that on the other side. cheating a bit, but there you go. So I've got one pickup in. Let's get the other pickup in. I have to cut the springs in half because of the way I fit the pickups. I don't put the cover plate on. I just like the pickup to just poke through the body of the guitar. So in order to achieve that, I need to snip the spring like that. Then it should be possible if you get the right screws, the right bolts even. Needs to be drilled out a little bit more, that one. Right, that should do. Now I can get the bridge sorted. What I have to remember to do when I'm doing this sort of work is to make sure that the area of the bench with the guitar on is kept clear of anything that's going to mark the neck, because it's so easy, in the neck and the body, so easy just to put a scrape in your body or your neck from an old screw or a drill bit or something that's lying around. Anyway, we'll screw the neck back on and look at this bridge position again. Okay, so if I put that on the holes, that's where the holes are. Now, I've got a nut in there. Okay, so that looks reasonable, that side. And that doesn't look too bad, that side, to be honest with you. So I think, let's double check it this way round. I think that bridge is about right. I've set the depth stop to 21mm, which is about the depth of the screw. So now I need to mark two more holes, one for the piezo pickup that's going to go under the bridge and one for the earthing wire. So put some cardboard on to protect the guitar body. I've used an awl to make the hole there, so here we go. Okay, so to cut a long story short, I've drilled that hole all the way through into the body and got the wire through, and so now the piezo pickup position is there. What I need to do is mark that and then just route out a channel for that to sink into. The bridge just sits a little proud, which is exactly at the front there, which is exactly what we want. Right, I'm just going to have a quick tidy up and then get on to the next job, which will be cutting the hole for the jack socket. Done. Now, before I can fit the jack socket, which is this thing here, this stereo jack socket, what I need to do is cut the holes for these controls. So I need to get the sizes, and I'll also need to sink these controls into that top using some Forstner bits. So I'm just going to get some measurements from these. So this one here, I need a 20 mil Forstner bit for that one. That one there, I'm going to have to sink it in. I'm going to need, well, it's 11 mil, so we'll see what we've got. And that there, well, I think that's going to have to be an 18 mil. Okay, so let's go and see what we've got. Right, I've fitted the controls into the body. It took a bit of to and fro to get them right, and those knobs will go on there and there, and the switch is there. Now I need to work out where this jack socket's going to go. So this is the interesting part. To me, looks like it's going to have to go through there. So let's just put a mark in the centre there. Now I'll put a metal plate on the side here. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to drill, I think it's a 20 mil diameter hole that I need, straight the way through into the body. So I've drawn a centre line, and I'm going to measure the depth of that. So that's, say, 28. So half of 28 is 14. So let's go to 14. Okay. So, theory, that is the centre. Now, what I'm going to do is use this 20 mil Forstner bit to put it on there, just to see where that's going to go. Now then, I think that's going to be okay. So I'm going to make a mark there, and all we've got to do now is go in there with a Forstner bit. Try and get this as straight as possible. There's a lot of dust. Put your dust mask on. Here we go. Right, well, I've gone through. Wow, okay. I've loaded up a 28 mil Forstner bit, and I'm just going to wind this up here. Put that there. Touches there. I'm going to take some material out, basically till I just come underneath the olive top. Well, I've got a rather interesting pattern in the control cavity here, and of course the simple answer would have been just to have routed down to that in the first place. So next time, that's exactly what I'll do. But in the meantime, this, I believe, is going to work. So my jack will just fit in there nicely with the plate. That looks really good. Excellent. So now I need to make the plate. But I'm going to leave that for another video. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this sort of content, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I'll be back soon to finish this project. Cheers.